Hey everyone, and welcome! Today, we're going to be looking up at something we see every day, but maybe don't fully understand the clouds. We're going to figure out exactly what they're trying to tell us.
I mean, of course you have, right? You see all those different shapes and sizes drifting by, and you just kind of know they're part of a bigger story. Well, it turns out they absolutely are.
And that's exactly what we're going to do. Think of this as learning the language of the sky. By the end of this, you'll be able to step outside, look up, and basically read the day's forecast for yourself. It's pretty cool. So, where do we even begin? Well, it all boils down to this one little number: 3. Believe it or not, almost every single cloud you'll ever see is built from just 3 fundamental shapes. Yep, just 3. Think of them like the primary colors of the sky. Once you get these down, you unlock the ability to identify pretty much everything else floating up there. So let's meet them. First up, we have cumulus. Now, this comes from the Latin word for heap. And I mean, that's the perfect description, isn't it? These are your classic, puffy cotton ball clouds you see on a beautiful sunny day, kind of rounded on the top and nice and flat on the bottom. Next, there's stratus. This one comes from the Latin word for layer. And again, the name just hits the nail on the head. These clouds look like these flat, kind of featureless sheets that just blanket the entire sky. You know those gray, dreary days? You can thank stratus clouds for that. And rounding out our big 3 is cirrus, which is Latin for curl of hair. And that's exactly what they look like. They're those really delicate, wispy streaks you see way, way up high. It's like someone took a paintbrush and just gently swept it across the sky. All right, so now that we have our building blocks, let's start our journey through the atmosphere from the ground up. We'll begin with the low-level clouds, the ones that have the most direct impact on our day-to-day lives. So, down here near the ground, this is the big matchup: cumulus versus stratus. On one hand, you've got those puffy cumulus clouds. Those are your fair weather friends. They pop up when warm air is rising. On the other hand, you have stratus clouds, which create that gray, overcast ceiling and can bring drizzle or light snow. So one basically signals a great day for a picnic, and the other says you might want to grab a jacket. And here's a really cool little fact about stratus clouds. Ever wondered what fog actually is? It's nothing mysterious. It's literally just a stratus cloud that's sitting right on the ground. The same gray blanket, just happening in eye level. Okay, let's move a little higher up in the atmosphere now. We're entering the middle altitudes, this sort of transition zone that's home to the alto clouds. So up here in this middle layer, you get these interesting variations. You'll find alto stratus clouds, which are these grayish sheets that can make the sun look kind of watery, like you're seeing it through frosted glass. And then you have alto cumulus. These are patchy, puffy clouds, often lined up in waves. They're sort of the in-betweeners, and sometimes they can produce some light rain or snow. All right, time to go way, way up to the highest, coldest parts of the troposphere. It's so cold up here that clouds aren't even made of water droplets anymore. And that is the absolute key to understanding these clouds. They are made entirely of tiny ice crystals. And that's what gives them that classic, thin, wispy, and brilliant white look. It's a whole different world up there. So this whole cirrus family is just fascinating. You've got your basic cirrus streaks, which are often the very first sign that a weather front is on its way. Then you have cirrus stratus. These are the thin sheets that create those absolutely beautiful halos you sometimes see around the sun or the moon. And finally, cirrocumulus, which look like tiny little ripples of cotton. Sometimes people call it a macro sky. Okay, so far we've talked about clouds that kind of stick to their own layers, low, middle, and high. But some clouds, they don't follow the rules. They're the absolute giants of the sky, the ones with vertical growth that can stretch through all the layers at once. And this really shows you how a monster storm is born. You know, it all starts so innocently, with a harmless little fair weather cumulus cloud. But if the air is unstable and you get some powerful updrafts, that little cloud can grow explosively, shooting upward into a towering monster called a cumulonimbus, complete with that iconic, flat, anvil-shaped top. Now, a cumulonimbus cloud is not just for show. It is a full-blown severe weather factory. When you see one of these bad boys, you know there's a real potential for thunderstorms, drenching rain, damaging hail, and sometimes even tornadoes. And sometimes, hanging from the underside of these massive storm clouds, you might see this incredible and kind of eerie sight: mammatus clouds. These weird pouch-like formations are a dead giveaway that the air is extremely turbulent. They often show up right as a severe thunderstorm is starting to weaken.
So, to bring it all home, here's your quick and easy guide. You can think of it as your cloud spotter's cheat sheet. Puffy cumulus, looking good for fair weather. Flat stratus, probably overcast with some drizzle. Wispy cirrus, a change is likely on the way. And that huge towering cumulonimbus, you know a storm is brewing. It's your go-to reference for reading the sky.
So there you have it. You now have the basic tools to decode that celestial architecture right above your head. The sky isn't just a blue or gray backdrop anymore, is it? It's a dynamic, living forecast. So the only question left is, next time you look up, what story is the sky going to be telling you?